7:37. And
how about 4:30?
okay, cool, good. Sounds good to me. Okay, all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Smith?
Here.
Patterson? Here. Henderson here. Conan excused. Shoemaker?
Here.
Sled's excused. Deleckin.
Here. Okay, so now we have the agenda. So somebody make a motion to approve. I don't have anything to change. Anybody else have any additions?
Make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, approval of minutes from May 4th. Oh, I'm sorry, this is, yeah, okay. Yeah, this is the right one, yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the meeting from May 4th as presented.
Second?
I wasn't here. Oh, okay, I'll second it then.
Oh, we can't pass it.
No.
All in favor? Oh, wait a minute, we can't.
No.
No, we can't, so we can't. In favor and abstain, so, okay. So we'll just hold that off till the next meeting. I should have known that before I did that. Okay, so now we have on deck display mix. So we're getting to the end, and we've got some new drawings. The variance was met by the Zoning Board of Appeals for the 500-foot setback for the industrial usage, and that was approved by Zoning Board of Appeals. So Great Lakes Photography, how many parking places do you have? Two in the front. How many employees do you have?
Lately, there's only been one person working there. It's not
Well, okay.
myself.
What did you have before?
When our business was bigger, I don't know. I forget.
Well,
It's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
But in the last few years, Mark's been the only one working there.
What's the requirement? So it's $3,000 square feet.
Well, it's commercial, right?
Yeah, isn't there there's not a chart? Okay. This would be office services, commercial.
One per calendar.
So you gotta have three. So we have to have 3 parking places. So you have 2 in the front. Aren't there 2 usable in the front?
Yeah.
Okay. So then one of the spaces in the back has to be for Great Lakes. Doesn't mean that somebody else can't use it, but for the approval process, that's kind of. So okay, now we've got that done. So Dean, how many employees are you going to have?
We only run 4 or 5.
Okay, plus yourself?
Not total.
Total? Okay. Okay, so we gotta go to the screened-in section. So, or not the screened-in section, but that little alcove to the south that borders the house to the west and the building to the east. So you have basically just enough parking. You need 20 foot for a parking place and 20 foot for a maneuvering space, and you've got 20 foot. But that's a solid building wall. And you have a little bit of screen, there's a little bit of foliage in there that cuts off from that 40 foot. So that's pretty overgrown. Vicki, are you guys gonna clean that up and get rid of all that foliage?
Sure, we could do that.
Okay, you're gonna need to do that. So, but you can't get rid of the stuff between the house. You know, there's kind of a screening there, green belt screening, I don't know what it,
We're gonna go with the weed killer. Yeah,
well, don't do the stuff that's right by the fence.
no,
But the, because you actually have trees in there. So he's gonna actually need some of that for his required parking.
okay.
So, and then do you have the, thing for McKenna? So I'm gonna kind of jump around a little bit, just the things that I know of. Anybody else want to do this? Okay. So the dumpster area it's supposed to be concreted and screened. So the concrete pad's still there, but you're gonna have to put some type of a wall around it with an open door opening, so that the trash guys can come in and open it and nobody can see it when it's closed. Did we do the special approval? Okay, all right.
And that's because Dean was given the papers from Jeff for him to review. And the papers from Jeff actually were the special approval.
Has that stuff been signed yet?
Um,
Dean, did you sign,
No.
did anybody sign the agreement over the use of the parking lot yet?
With the fee?
The dollar, the whole dollar?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I haven't signed it yet.
And,
Okay.
and that's all part of the special approval that Jeff did.
okay.
Give me the approval through here, I'd be happy to sign it, pay the dollar.
Okay, okay. Well, that's kind of there's two different approvals. So there'd be the special approval with conditions and that agreement. So the agreement we could put in that he signed it at the same time he signed the agreement, the special approval. Okay. So there's also a walkway that goes from the front of the building to the back of the building on the south side. I do believe you have a fence there, but that's also overgrown too.
That's what I was talking about. That's the spray that with weed killer.
Well,
That's what I was referring to.
yeah, but okay. So I was referring to the spot behind your yard.
Yeah, no.
So that bigger area, that area is 40 foot by roughly 80.
Okay.
So that's gonna need to be cleaned up because he's gonna have to be able to use that as parking. So his required parking isn't enough with the truck radius. So the parking that you have listed is okay, but it's not adequate for what your requirements are.
What is that, Ben? Is that just dirt back in there?
Yeah, it's stone.
It's stone?
Didn't you guys stone it a long time ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's stone with weeds going through it.
No, okay.
So it's a gravel parking lot.
Yeah. Okay. You said about the last 40 feet of it, or is what's overgrown?
Well, the whole thing.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So you couldn't pull a car in there today. I mean, you could, but it has scratches.
Yeah. Humvee, it'd have to be a Humvee or something.
Yeah.
I guess I saw it in the winter times because I didn't see it being that overgrown. I mean, I can see it on the ground and the stones, but nothing was interfering with the space. I don't see it in satellite view either, but I've been back there.
I don't know. You're back there for a day and you pull everything out. It's not like you got 20-foot trees back there. But I think there are some trees back there.
There's a walnut tree. We wouldn't lose that.
No, but I mean little ones in the parking area.
Yeah.
Okay, has anybody else got anything?
How many parking spots does he have to have?
Well, it's one per employee for the minimum, or it's one per employee plus 1,000 square feet for the maximum. So he said 5 employees on the max, and then there's 5,700 square foot. So the maximum would be 11, and the minimum would be 5. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 on the backside of API, but one of those spaces has to go with Great Lakes, because Great Lakes requirement is 3, and they have 2 up front. So one of the ones in the back has to be set off, designated. Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
You get so you got 4, 7 spots.
2 or 3 for them, right?
Yeah.
Or
So you got 7.
make 7.
Okay. That's good.
So, but with that 40, if you look at the bottom of that drawing, there's only 40 foot from the property line. And there's a green belt off the property line. So you really don't have 40 usable foot. But you could put the cars in, not this way, but perpendicular to that, so they're going on the southern boundary and get 4, and then they'd have to drive in and kind of maneuver and back up, but they'd have plenty of room to do that and then turn around back there and drive out. So that would, either way, it gives them 4.
Then if you saw how they park now, this is like a palace.
I understand, yeah.
So other than fencing around the garbage, there's nothing?
Basically, fencing around the garbage can, de-weeding,
That's it?
and signing the agreement. Oh, and there is a balance on the fees to the village. Those would have to be paid too.
What kind of balance, what's it for?
$142 plus the 1.
What's the 142 for?
Lawyer
140.
and planner fees.
Yeah,
over
planner
and
fees,
above,
attorney fees,
in excess of what you've already paid.
yeah.
I will tell you, it's one of the cheapest lawyer fees I've ever paid. I like that.
I agree. Okay, so has anybody else got anything? Paul?
No, I just don't see anything, problems. mentioned with the trees and the foliage, and get in that dumpster enclosed.
Dale?
No, that's good.
So we'll,
The main thing, as I recall, was that radius
yeah.
has been proven out, so.
Madam Secretary?
I believe I'm good with this.
So the only thing I can think of is, since it is special approval, we should say something about noise and hours of operation. I know we already talked about it, but now we're getting to the point where we're actually gonna sign some papers. You're smiling.
Yeah.
Okay, so, what were your hours of operation again?
On a good day, they're in there by 7.
Okay,
We don't work late, so we're out of there by 5, 6 at the latest.
so 7 to 6 is safe,
Yeah.
and then Saturday?
Occasionally.
Okay, Saturday is the same or lighter?
Yeah, well, no. Oh, God, if I can't get them in there at 7 on a weekday, they're not coming in 7 on a Saturday.
Your guys are like mine.
Yeah, you know, Saturdays, 9 to 5. That's necessary.
And then, let's see. So what's fabrication equipment? What do you got? You got a press brake or a shear?
Yeah, not a press brake, hand brake, no power shear.
No, it's all hand?
Yeah,
So you're light sheet metal?
well, it's all lightweight equipment, mostly hand tools.
Okay. You use die grinders or anything like that?
Yeah, on occasion.
Okay, all right. So, with your hours of operation, did anybody see a problem with noise? I really don't.
That type of machinery really wouldn't be that noisy.
No, it wouldn't be any, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're not gonna be any noisier than if there was an auto mechanic shop there, and you're probably not even gonna make that much noise.
No, our noise level wouldn't exceed a air impact ever. The loudest piece of equipment we run is running a CNC is a vacuum that holds that down. And we baffle that because you can't stay in the building with it yourself, it's just uncomfortable.
Oh, really?
So it's the vacuum is by far the loudest thing.
Okay. We cover the bases?
Yes. This though is from Jeff,
Mm-hmm.
and it specifies that these are the following conditions. The development, occupancy, and use of the property remain consistent with the scale and nature of the use described in and presented to the Planning Commission and as reflected in the site plan. He has dated October 31st, 2014. We'll have to adjust that.
Mm-hmm.
The development, occupancy, and use of the property are and remain at all times in compliance with all pertinent codes, ordinances, and regulations of the Village of Armada, County of Macomb, State of Michigan. Petitioner applies for, receives, and complies with all necessary permits to develop, occupy, and use the property. The SALU being granted hereby shall be valid for only so long as the petitioner occupies the property and is not transferable to any successor in interest in the property. Occupancy shall be conclusively deemed to have ended if A, petitioner ceases operations as described in its application and presentations to the Planning Commission for a period of 90 calendar days, or B, petitioner's tenancy of the property is terminated by the property owner, or C, petitioner moves substantially all of its personal property from the property, or D, petitioner sells, assigns, or transfers a controlling interest, 51%, in its business or assets. In the event petitioner's SALU terminates, it shall not reoccupy the property without applying for SAU approval from the Planning Commission.
I have a question. If 6 months from now I can't work and I sell that business, you just told me that I couldn't sell that business and they can stay in that building, if I understood that right.
Without coming to the Planning Commission.
Without coming back to the board.
Correct.
But haven't jumped through all the hoops unless things changed. So if the ordinance remains the same,
No, I guess I didn't understand, the occupant isn't me personally, it's corporation. So if that corporation changes ownership, the occupant didn't. That's kind of what I'm just looking at. And I have no plans of selling it, but I don't know what the future is either.
It does go on to say that you shall conduct no sign fabrication or store raw materials, work in progress, and or finished project on the exterior of the facility constructed on the property. You will execute and deliver to the Village of Armada the license agreement providing access across the Church Street municipal parking lot for the purpose of deliveries to the rear of the property. A violation of the foregoing conditions of approval shall be ground for the Planning Commission to revoke the SALU.
so what's your, do you need to store anything outside?
No. I was counting on that back fenced area where there's parking. Occasionally we'll receive a crate of a sign that needs to go up, and sometimes they're bulky enough and just set it outside, but in that fenced area. And there's a gate there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'd be behind the gate.
No, there's no gate.
Tourism?
Well, there is, but it's not usable.
Oh.
I mean, it has very small hinges and it's not.
We don't have any outside storage.
You know. But Jeff's letter has that, but you're bordering by the backside of another special approval land use building on two sides. So your own property on the north side of that, of that lot in question where you got your 4 parking places, so that.
You're talking about behind...
behind Stella's house.
Okay.
So that's kind of where you have 4 parking places. And if you were gonna do any outside storage, then that would be it. I think that,
We don't have outside storage, and if I do, it's an overnight. So we don't have anything long term.
well, in the attorney's letter, it says no outside storage, so overnight is outside storage. So I'd like to cover the base.
Let me go on record, we don't have any outside storage.
Well, I'm trying to help you out. So, I mean, just worst case scenario, you know, it's the end of the day, the truck comes in at 5 o'clock, your guys are all leaving, they're going to a baseball game, and you're gonna leave it outside. So, let's just, if nobody else has a problem with that, let's allow them to have just a little bit of temporary outside storage, not to exceed 2 days. How's that?
Perfect.
Dale?
Are we saying anywhere in that area, or are you gonna limit it to a certain area where you can store
Well,
it? Or?
he's kind of got a parking thing here.
Right.
So wherever that's going to be, and we could say where it is, but you know that's going to change. And all, well, my thing is, it's bordered on industrial property on 2 sides.
Right.
One side's the back of the building. The other side is Padrack molds storage area.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't really see the problem, and I do know from being in business for a long time, as Dean has, you know, trucks don't always come in on time. There's, you know, something happens.
I'm sure that's true. I'm sure that's true.
You know, you could have a job that is in front of the door and you expect to have it done, and now it's not done and you can't bring it in.
Do people drive through there? I mean,
No, there's no way to drive through it. It's only going to be a drive, you know, you're going to have to drive in and either back out or turn around inside there and come back out. And I don't know what kind of a high-low you've got to even get back there.
Hillbilly high-low.
Huh?
Hillbilly high-low.
Hillbilly?
Yeah. No tractor.
Oh, hillbilly Bill?
A hillbilly high-low.
just a
Tractor.
with a couple forks.
Or,
on it.
I mean, if it's something heavier, then we use a crane to pick it up.
You got a gantry crane inside the building?
No, aerial crane on a truck.
Okay. Okay, so we didn't even discuss trucks.
No.
So where are you going to park your truck during the day?
It's out on the road during the day. I don't make any money if it's sitting around.
Well, yeah.
you can cross off nighttime storage and say vehicle parking, because it just doesn't have.
It sits there unless it goes out?
Yeah.
Okay. I personally would not like to lock you into something that the planning commission can say, well, why didn't you do this? He's doing it, why aren't you going after him? So I'd like you to have some leeway.
Well, I appreciate that. I also read what that letter really means. Don't be messy, don't cloud up the place. We're not gonna do any of
Sure.
that stuff. So
Yeah.
unless you have an overnight storage police enforcing this, there's not gonna be any issues at all.
Okay. Okay.
I make a motion to approve.
So what do you guys think about the storage, Dale?
I don't think it's a problem at all.
Christie?
No, I don't think it'll be a problem.
Paul?
Not at all, because I got stuff beside my garage that's been there for years. So,
Okay. How about we just say for no more than, so it can be over for a weekend, so if you're there Friday night and you can't put it inside for some unknown reason, the high-low gets stuck, the high-low breaks down, you know, it could be a number of things. You blow a hose, you have a flat tire, and you can't get it fixed till Monday. So how about we give them 4 days? And then anything that's stored outside, it just can't be an eyesore, and it's got to be inside as fast as possible.
That's what I'm counting on.
Okay, cool.
If you store something, is that where you prefer to store it, is down at the end there where the street
We
parking?
don't have outside storage.
Yeah, I know you.
On occasion, I'll get a larger crate in for a bigger display that's gotta go up, and it's easier to set it down outside rather than trying to haul it
Yeah,
back in the
makes
door.
sense.
But they don't stay there, so
Yeah.
you get loaded on a truck and go.
I don't think it's a deal.
Because most of yours, anything that you're gonna get is basically gonna be in a wood crate, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
You know, so,
And that's the exception, we ship out, we don't get that much comes in. That's a rarity.
and your LEDs are really gonna go inside no matter what.
Which ones?
Well, the LEDs, don't you do any LEDs
The
in your
digital
sign?
displays?
Huh?
The digital displays, that's
Yeah.
exactly what I'm talking about, is occasionally we get those in they're a bigger package.
Mhm.
And they're crated, so we don't break the crate down. We
Right.
transport it with the crate out to a job and then break it down.
Oh, okay.
Now, is there a display mix sign on the front of the building, or?
Oh, yeah, thanks.
We haven't asked for it.
Okay.
I have no need for it. If we decide that that's something that's worthwhile, we'll come back to the board for permission. Right now, all I want is a name on the front door and the back door.
Well, you don't have to come back to the planning commission, once with this approval, you just have to go to the building inspector.
Okay, all right. But we have no plans for it at the time.
Okay.
No need for it.
Okay, so how about we start on the,
No, all that would have to be, with the Larry said, all that have to be into the,
well, the special approve, so we're gonna do a special approval, land use approval process, which is gonna be all the stipulations and all the things, including the lawyer's agreement.
okay. And that's, the only stipulations we had was the dumpster and,
That would be part of his site plan approval.
Yeah,
Special,
so that's separate?
special approvals, all those things I just read.
Okay, so that's separate. Okay.
so the special approval is hinged with the attorney thing,
Okay.
isn't that correct?
Well, it says right on here that it's right, that he will sign that. Somewhere.
But I think we can do the special approval and the approval all at the same time.
But you have different conditions for the site plan than you do for the special approval.
Why would we do that?
Why would you not do two separate?
Okay, all right. Well, let's do the,
Can I see that just for a second? I've never seen it, so.
anybody else, Paul, you wanna see this from the attorney?
no,
We had copies way back when.
I work with Jeff, I trust him.
Okay. decided couldn't make your meeting, your ZBA meeting.
That's understandable.
I think the wife had plans.
Boss.
What?
So this is amended because we put that 4 days in there?
Right, so you can read it that way. You'll have to give me 2 days to retype up, because some of the dates are wrong, because all of this was created back when they first started back in October.
Okay.
So we can read it the way
As
we want it to
amended.
read.
Okay.
We can read it the way we want it to read.
Okay.
I will retype it up. You'll have it in the back beside the paper.
And we can do it as written, I just,
Yeah,
I.
No, because there's a couple of the dates are wrong, so it's gotta be,
Okay,
it
all right.
can have to be
It's gotta be
amended,
done,
so.
redone
as
anyway.
amended.
We're not gonna say it's amended, we're gonna fix the things, and he's
Okay.
gonna sign a good
The
copy.
motion is
We're
as
gonna,
written.
We should actually read the whole thing. So when we do this, we'll have Becky read it, and
Okay.
then we'll make the motion and approve it
As to what she
as read.
Okay.
And then we'll say there's a time frame
Well-
when all the signatures have to be up.
Okay.
what you could do is, move to approve his special approval land use with the conditions set forth in Exhibit A. I'll read Exhibit
Okay, all
A.
right,
And then,
okay.
I don't wanna waste your board's time, but I'm dying to see, can we have like relief from one day so we have fireworks, alcohol?
I don't really care.
Just 1 day a year, just.
So, whatever you guys want to do.
Okay, so how about we'll do the special approval land use, and the conditions are, it is not transferable.
Just do special
So-
approval with Exhibit A, and I'll
Okay.
read Exhibit A.
Okay, cool. So then, the property has to be all cleaned up, walkway and parking area, so it's de-weeded and usable.
That's separate.
Huh?
Let's do one thing first,
What do you mean, what are we doing first?
special approval.
Okay,
That's the
special,
site plan.
okay, special approval of Exhibit A.
I thought it was with Exhibit A.
Yes.
Special approval land use with Exhibit A.
Yes.
Is that correct?
With the conditions set forth in Exhibit A. So say, Dale, make the motion. We move to approve a special approval land use for display mix with the conditions set forth in Exhibit A.
Is that what I said?
No.
That's what I thought too.
All right.
We have an open seat on planning. See how much fun we have? Somebody needs to come forward.
All right, Dale, you gonna
This is
make
just too much fun.
it? You gonna make it?
All right, yeah, we're ready. Okay. I make a motion to approve the special land use for display mix, which, with conditions set forth with Exhibit A. Is that close enough?
Exhibit A is the subject to the following conditions. The development, occupancy, and use of the property remain consistent with the scale and nature of the use described in and presented to the Planning Commission and as reflected in the site plan dated, this last date, today's date, June 16, 2015. The development, occupancy, and use of the property are and remain at all times in compliance with all pertinent codes, ordinances, and regulations of the Village of Armada, County of Macomb, State of Michigan. Petitioner applies for, receives, and complies with all necessary permits to develop, occupy, and use the property. The special approval land use being granted hereby shall be valid for only so long as petitioner occupies the property and is not transferable to any successor in interest in the property. Occupancy shall be conclusively deemed to have ended if A, petitioner ceases operations as described in its application and presentation to the Planning Commission for a period of 90 days, or B, petitioner's tenancy of the property is terminated by the property owner, or C, petitioner moves substantially all of its personal property from the property, or D, petitioner sells, assigns, or transfers a controlling interest, 51%, in its business or assets. In the event petitioner's SALU terminates, it shall not reoccupy the property without applying for SALU approval from the Planning Commission. Petitioner's hours of operation shall be 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 9 to 5 on Saturdays as needed. Petitioner shall conduct no sign fabrication or store raw materials, work in progress, and/or finished product on the exterior of the facility constructed on the property for a period to exceed 4 days. Petitioner executes and delivers to the Village of Armada a license agreement providing access across the Church Street Municipal Parking Lot for the purpose of deliveries to the rear of the property. A violation of the foregoing conditions of approval shall be ground for the Planning Commission to revoke the SALU. Second.
With the outside storage thing, so I'd just like to do the outside storage thing is only under kind of emergency needs.
Now you gotta reread the whole thing.
No.
Too bad.
So with that one, we kind of protect ourselves, but we're also protecting the applicant.
Second.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So moved. Okay, step one. Yahoo.
That was
Okay,
it.
so we'll have to retype this, this is gonna take a few days. So then the site plan approval, will say that Exhibit A needs to be signed by both parties. The monies owed need to be paid prior to granting of approval. The parking areas and walkways need to be cleaned up and de-weeded and kept that way. There's no sign for the front of the building or rear of the building, so if a sign is needed, they just need to contact the building inspector. What's that?
Dumpster.
Yeah, and the dumpster area needs to be screened with doors, and the hinges on the doors and the latches on the doors need to be sufficient that they're not going to fall off. So it needs to be kept in good working order and sufficient strength to hold up the doors. Other than that, so you already got the hours of operation. We're good. As presented by the applicant, noise at this point does not seem to be an issue. Anything else? The minimum requirement for parking is 5. The maximum was 11. And we have, you don't have a handicap spot, but you have one that's kind of by the dumpster area that could easily be made into a handicap spot. So let's designate that one as a handicap. Everybody in agreement with that?
Why is those two in the front not considered parking, because they're in front doors?
Because you have an overhead door. If you take that door out, then you can park. You can park there. It's nothing said that you can't park there, but you
Count
can't.
the formulas.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you have any questions before we go ahead for a motion?
No.
Anybody else? Did I miss anything?
I don't think so. Not that I can think of. We don't want to say anything about the signs, that's just irrelevant.
About the
At this
usage?
point. Yeah, put the signs on his building.
Just that he has.
I mentioned that. So if he
Okay.
doesn't do it, he's not doing it at this time. He just needs to see the building inspector.
Okay.
So, and you can go to 10% of the fascia. So that's
All right.
okay? Okay,
You got it.
got it? Okay.
Nice
So,
big digital
do we-
display.
Excuse me?
Digital display?
Well, yeah, you can do digital display, but we have all kinds of requirements on that.
Yeah. They get back with us on that one.
Yeah. You might have to come back to see us for
Believe it or
that.
not, I blazed those trails in
Oh, I'm sure you did.
about a dozen cities where they never had it, I'd be the first ones in, so I'm
Yeah.
familiar with it.
Yeah. So this is just as presented, right?
As,
With conditions.
with conditions,
With conditions?
yes.
As presented with conditions.
Yes.
That's it?
And we should, that I, doing this, that we refer to, Exhibit A. So, you want to read those?
Conditions for site plan approval are: Exhibit A must be signed by both parties. All monies owed to the village must be paid. Parking and walkway to be cleared of weeds and kept maintained. If he chooses to do a sign at a later date, he'll go through the building department. Dumpster area to be screened with doors and hinges and kept in good working order. Noise not an issue is presented by applicant at this time.
We probably should say something about the truck radius. We're approving it as, with the truck radius as presented on the drawing.
Well, that's part of the site plan now, isn't it? That's part of the site plan, isn't it? So if you.
But it is special approval, so okay, so then we're approving the site plan as presented.
As
Correct.
presented
Okay,
with
okay.
conditions stated in.
So the
exhibit.
latest set of drawings handed in is what we're approving of.
Right.
Okay,
Right?
so the other, none of the other stuff applies, so that's all recycled.
Does it have to be in there about the handicap parking?
Yes, we should say that,
That's
that the handicap should be, we'll make this one handicapped.
Now, they had to post a handicap sign on there?
Yes, you have to post it, you have to, just put
I got
a sign on the building.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can probably get one of those somewhere.
The humor in that is that 2 nights ago, I pulled up at home, and I have a handicap sign parked there for me. And my grandbaby said, "Papa, when are you gonna get rid of that?" So we've got a spot for it.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's still the conditions in exhibit A, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Are we ready for a motion?
Yeah.
All right, Kristen.
Yeah, you
I make a motion to approve site plan for display mix as presented with conditions stated in exhibit A.
Yeah,
Plus?
plus our conditions.
All those other ones I read, the money that's owed.
Well, then you don't want to do it as presented then.
Well,
We want
as,
to do
w- with conditions, as presented with conditions and
conditions.
Exhibit A.
Okay. All right. Motion to approve site plan for display mix as presented with conditions and exhibit A.
Yes,
Okay.
and the signage of Exhibit A, or signing.
Sometimes the hardest part is just the
I will
word
second
itself.
that.
Okay, any discussion?
Right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? See, it was just a simple process.
I was surprised to hear you say in October. I thought it was in January.
You started it all back.
I know it was
Yeah.
cold.
Yeah, you started it all, that's when you first came, and that's because you had to then go to the council about the parking thing and those stuff, so.
Yeah.
We had one word, hallelujah.
Yes.
But we did wait for drawings for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm only here till noon on
Good job.
Fridays. Dean, I'm only here till noon on Fridays. Can you make it Friday before noon? You wanna just plan on the first part of next week to come in
That's
for all?
fine. I mean, I'll see you Friday morning, if not, then we can go
Okay.
to Monday.
Okay.
So and then I'll
If
give
I
you
maybe
the
would have
description
checked
of
now,
it.
you want to just handle it?
So now now you're not done yet. So you still have to do all these things, and then the building inspector will see that you have all these things done, and then you'll get your certificate of occupancy. You won't get it before any of this stuff is done.
Right.
Weeds and
Yeah.
corral and everything.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
well, thanks very much. Good luck to you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Hope it works.
yeah.
Yeah, we have another project that's gonna consume a lot of space, so I hope we can get in there in time.
Good.
So do you have to do much of the building to get in?
Not really, no,
Good.
no, we can move benches in and start working.
Oh,
But we gotta get through the building official.
I see the biggest thing that you've gotta do is build that screening, which is half a day, and pull a lot of weeds.
Yeah.
Put some Roundup down.
That my marriage contract says they don't pull weeds.
That's a problem.
That's no joke, that's for real, put it on the record.
You should probably make a nice donation to Armada for inviting Roundup and does them boys to come over. They're there a lot.
My solution's Ron and White.
Yeah, is that fine? Oh,
You know,
Okay.
Ron has the marriage thing that says he doesn't pull weeds either, he pays people.
You learned it from me. Says I don't mow.
So next on the agenda, site plan for
Oh,
74020 Fulton.
I'll go and get some.
so you can go.
Okay, so Stephanie, want to kind of let us know what you've got planned?
And open a floors, Ben.
Okay. So, excuse me, the zoning for a florist is retail, that's the C2 in the DDA district, and the requirement, and zoning match. Night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you to the
Thank
board.
you for coming
You guys did
tonight.
a great job.
Thank you.
Thanks. Nice to be appreciated.
Yep.
So the zoning matches?
Huh? Yes.
Zoning matches?
Yeah, that's C2.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. So.
I really didn't think we were gonna get to this point. I thought we were just going retail, on and all.
Yeah.
So we got quite a bit of stuff.
Okay.
So on one sheet, I don't know what this is. On the fifth sheet, it says the usable floor space is 2,700 square feet. So I think what was our parking requirement for retail?
Floor area is 2728.
So 3 1/4 per 1,000. So that means there's 10 required spots, and I think we have that.
What building is this?
The old Shell gas
Oh,
station,
okay.
or the real estate office,
Yeah,
depending on your age.
yeah.
Full serve gasoline from McVeigh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the car wash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so
Just getting torn up in there.
You're gonna be dating yourself.
Yeah.
So there can be 4 parking places in the rear. There needs to be, so there's a handicap, so I think this shows 32 foot if I have, am I reading your drawing right, it's 32.9?
Yes. But that's only.
So that, you're only gonna get 3 spaces in there. So you're gonna be 1 short, right? What did I say, how many? 10, yeah, 10. So, and we're only gonna have 4, 7, 8, 9. We're 1 short, but.
But I have 10 feet to the sidewalk.
Well, yes, and thanks for bringing that up, because on the drawing, the parking area doesn't work, so.
The
you're gonna move-
asphalt goes from the north side to the sidewalk. Yeah. This, you want me to show them? They have a drawing.
Yeah.
It goes from the north side, space, 17 feet, space, and then 10-6 to the sidewalk. So we could actually move the 3 south side spaces over and get what we need. And just redo the
Yeah,
paint.
what you're saying, it's on the drawing here, so she's got 10 foot that they're not calling parking. But, so what the issue is, the way it's drawn, there's only 17 and a half feet between the cars. So the minimum is 20.
Yeah, okay.
So you just have to repaint the striping on the south end.
Okay. That sounds pretty minor.
Done.
And then we're one short, but
So how many do we have to have? 10?
10, it's 3.25 spaces per 1,000 feet. You have basically 3,000 feet, so that's 975/10. So we always round up, so this time we're gonna round down. So you're under
But I have 3 in the back, but
4.
I have 4 in the back, okay.
So you basically have 6,
7, 8, 9, 10.
yeah, you have 5 up front and 4 in the back. So we have 9.
Plus nine.
So if you didn't have the no, you have 8 plus a handicap.
Okay.
So if you didn't have the handicap, you'd have 9.
Okay.
But the handicap needs an extra 5 foot, so you lose that 3rd parking place. And then the signage, the way she's got it presented, what page is that on? I don't know.
Excited?
Yeah.
All I did was design something new.
Huh?
Why?
What?
I couldn't
You're
measure
counting
what
10,
was
but there's
building
not 10
elevation, I'm
because
sure.
the handicap one
Has to
takes
be
up
large.
2 of those spaces. So there's 3 shown there, but where the handicap one is, there's actually only 2.
Same, we're gonna do a 6 foot.
All right, I got it.
By 10 foot. Lot, there's an awning and the peak all the way up, so, yeah, see. Not sure.
The way that you have this listed, you're going to put your sign in the window, and you're not going to use the awning as the previous tenants did?
Yes, not right now.
Okay. Well, if you change the sign, then you need to,
Come back and see.
you don't have to come back to see us, but you'd have to see tenants.
But I was also told I can have a sandwich board as long as it comes in at night, and that counts towards the
That's true,
square
you
foot
can.
also.
Yep, yeah. There is a size stipulation of the sandwich board. Isn't it 2 foot by 3 foot?
Yeah, I
By
think
2
so.
foot? I think it's 2 foot by 2 foot at the base and 3 foot high.
I think the people that were in here last time had one.
Could be.
Yeah, I think they had a sandwich board.
Can you just email me that thing? You were gonna do that about
The
the
sign
sign?
ordinance?
Yeah. It'll get noticed better that way.
Excuse me?
It'll get noticed better that way.
Yeah, oh, definitely, sure, yeah. You could have any external lighting. So we didn't do that with Dean, and I knew that we were forgetting something.
External lighting.
Out the door, just watching.
Yeah.
I don't know what external lighting is.
Okay, well, if you do have external lighting, the lighting has to be shielded from has to be shielded from the road, and you're on a corner, so you got 2 roads, and it has to be shielded from your neighbors. So it's not supposed to transmit past your property line.
Okay.
What kind of lighting is on the building? Do you know?
I don't know, but I think there's wall packs, but I'm not sure. Is
There's something
that
under
canopy
the-
lit?
There's something under the awning, but I don't know if it even worked when the last people were in
I
there.
don't remember seeing it in years.
Well, they don't
Yeah.
ever open that night, I know that.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, she had all the utilities shut off, so I couldn't even go over there right now and tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, I can find out.
No, that's okay. I mean, all we're gonna do is just list it and say that if you do have light, external lighting, that it has to comply with the regulations are, and that it doesn't, you know, people driving down the road can't, what am I trying to say here?
Can't be blinded by it.
Well, it's not blinded, it's more than blinded, it can't be distracted. Distracted, thank you. English professor comes by aid.
Anytime, man.
Yes. So, it is a team effort here on planning. Okay, so anything else? So you kind of drew something out here as your floor plan.
Right.
Oh, okay, wait a minute. Storage. Storage does not go into the usable floor space, so we don't have to do anything with a 9. So how big is your storage?
Looks like 22 by 10. No, 22. No, that's not 10.
Oh yeah, it's 22 by,
10's only part of
yeah,
it.
10's only part of it.
You need a dimension there.
Yeah, well, you do and you don't, but, so the back of the building is 53 foot.
Yes.
So if you just took, that looks like the biggest section of the back. So even if you took that as a third, what's a third of 53? 18, 19, 19, 17? Thanks. So 17 foot, 17 times 22,
378.
yeah. So that gets you down to 2,000 and you have plenty of parking.
Okay. Yeah, because there's attic space too. In that whole, there's attic in that whole thing too.
Well, the deal, Stephanie, is we have to have, we go by criteria, and the criteria is you have to have so many parking places. So we have to make sure that we're covered on our end, that we did due diligence to, and giving you an approval. But, so we would have to do a variance to get you in, but the storage area does not go into usable floor space.
So our parking's fine.
Excuse me?
So our parking's fine.
Yes, the parking's fine. So you have in here listed, I think, hours of operation too, somewhere.
Yeah, where did you see that?
That's at page 4 again. Monday to Friday, 9 to 7, and Saturday, 10 to 4, and Sunday, only when you're busier than that.
Which is hopefully 52 of them a year, except for when it's Christmas. Yes.
Okay, anybody else?
I think that's a perfect fit for that building, actually.
Me too.
Yep.
I do have a question. Stuff outside.
You don't get any.
I don't get any.
Because you said that in your thing, you're not even gonna have a dumpster, you're not gonna have any, all the trash is gonna be high, all outside.
No, what I was talking about was when the mom and pop people were there, they used to bring stuff out of the building and have it in the parking lot that they were.
Oh, you mean to sell stuff as a yard sale type thing?
I don't want to do that. I mean, like I have a cart with flowers, or can I do anything outside, or do I have to have special?
Well, you have an awning,
Mhm.
and you really have,
That whole thing is covered
yeah,
under that.
yeah, so isn't there kind of a walkway across the front of the building? And then you have that alcove off the southwest corner of the building that's all covered.
Right.
And that faces Torrey Street, so it's not really the main street frontage. The only thing you can't do, and then I don't know, everybody else kind of helped me out here, but you can't use any of your parking areas for this.
Right.
So parking area has to be kept open. The mom and pop guys didn't do that, but you have to keep that open. But I don't see any reason why she couldn't put stuff outside, because it's basically a sidewalk sale type thing, and everything's going to come in at night.
Is that what you do?
Yes, I can't leave it outside all
Okay.
night. It would have to.
So if you got a little cart or something with flowers in, you'll just wheel it in as
Exactly.
storage or whatever?
Exactly.
Well, you might have things besides flowers, right?
Yeah, next year there might be vegetables. So
Yeah.
I don't, you know, I mean,
Why not?
I don't know, but yeah, just as long as it doesn't take up parking places.
Yeah.
That's- Okay.
I don't think we want you to put stuff on the lawn,
That's not gonna happen
No.
either.
but that awning area is perfectly suitable for that.
Okay.
I mean, don't you guys think,
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Paul?
Yeah. Be shaded so it wouldn't get too super hot when the sun's out and everything and.
Mhm.
On the tourist side, there's lawn.
So there's no stipulations on this, right? We're just gonna approve this as presented? I make a motion that we approve the site plan for the young lady as presented.
Stephanie McLeod.
Thank
What's the
you.
name of your business gonna be?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
I haven't decided.
Sure.
I think that was the same name as the last business in there.
I don't know yet. Yeah.
Stephanie
It
McLeod?
was.
No.
Yes, I don't know yet. That was-
I have a couple I'm leaning towards, I just hadn't.
Oh, that's right, yeah. The Pizza Express building didn't have a name either.
No.
Yeah. Okay, so who seconded?
I did.
Christie? Okay, any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So moved.
See that?
Okay.
One meeting.
But see this, she had all the drawings, all this.
What we do,
What do I need? Okay. Approve, action date, 6/16.
your frontage, I'll show
Okay.
you. This is for fence.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay,
You're welcome.
Stephanie.
Good luck.
Good luck, yeah, good luck.
So this is done for.
Your friend Dean's trying to sell me a sign.
No, I'm just, I'll show the planning board.
You got design software on there or?
No.
Need another one?
no, Just use enough that's been.
3? I've got one. Give me one.
The Pico tree and.
Yeah, that's a bad price.
Yeah, we should give, send us a copy, right?
Oh, yeah. Elevated. It's also for.
Now you have to, no, we actually have to fill out a building permit application for $75 per survey.
Do I have to get fires yet?
No, they'll kind of do that too. If he sees an issue, he'll take it.
You just email me that application and I'll come drop it off.
Yeah.
Or do I need to pick it up from you and then bring it back and?
Once you're in
Did you
there.
get one of these?
Up
Thank you.
So-
Usually I'm there, give you a call.
And Kim has mine. Mine's got the stuff with the parking.
Any kind of manufacturing process fascinates me, so,
Where's the parking drawing?
with an art background and
So,
everything.
that's the sign thing, the bid calculation, so the sign is good, and there's this.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Appreciate
Don't
it.
forget about the parking.
I will.
So you gotta restripe.
No, she doesn't, she's fine.
No, she's gotta restripe. She has to move the parking to the,
No, I don't. You just changed my
no,
building.
no. It has nothing to do with spaces, it has everything to do with
Oh, yeah, that's
the
right. You're not big
drawing,
enough.
the parking area is insufficient as drawn.
That's what
And
I said.
insufficient as laid out on the asphalt, it just needs to, go.
20 feet. Got it.
That's it, yeah.
Okay.
So you can go bigger, not smaller.
Are you still recording?
Well, thanks, Dean, thanks for being patient, thank you.
It all worked out eventually, thanks.
Yep.
Have a good night.
You need to get
Okay,
into that
hurry up,
weird
Stephanie, my
thing
wife
in
likes
there.
flowers.
My contract, thank you.
I know she does. I even know what kind she likes. Bye, thank you.
Bye. Okay, zoning amendments, what zoning amendments we got?
Well, we're supposed to start talking.
Okay, we talked enough. Anybody want to talk about zoning amendments? I don't.
No.
Okay, good. We're all in agreement. Public comment? Thank you very much. That was greatly appreciated. We'll take note. Chair report. Seminar. Paul, want to talk about our seminar?
Yeah, it was up in Bennett Rose and covered a lot of stuff that we already were aware of and do, but we did get some ideas. I know Ben and Joe took more notes than I did, but it was well worthwhile. I kicked myself for not going to more of those, and I will keep on top of that, and in the future try to attend more of those. It was well worthwhile. It just things that you don't always think about in site plans, and new types of materials that are used, and how you can adjust your ordinances to keep up with the times. Like I say, I thought it was well worth the time.
And you got free cookies.
Yeah, can't beat that.
Okay, thanks, Paul. Chair report. So, Oakview Apartments. So I did talk to a gal that has purchased that, and she wants to expand and come into planning, but we, as I said at the last meeting, I had conversations with her and a planner. So now she's in the process of getting her drawings and getting her plans situated. So, and then she'll be in.
Okay. She wants to add another building or add on to that building?
I don't know.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
She had, it was kind of like, okay, put it on paper.
Okay.
So I'm not really sure she knew exactly what she wanted yet.
All right.
So she wanted me to tell her what she could do, and I said, okay, what are you going to do? Well, I want to do this, this, and this, and this. Well, that's all different.
You're right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So, thanks for doing this meeting. So this was, we didn't have a regularly scheduled meeting, and this is not a special meeting, but it was just a meeting that we deferred from the first part of the month to this, and thanks for coming together for this.
Yep, no
I think we
problem.
did a service to our applicants, not making them wait till next month.
Yeah.
So, okay, with that,
Are we going to look into what zoning amendments you want to look at possibly next meeting?
They're all marked in yellow.
yes. So actually, okay, so we're gonna have to really kind of, I've gone through the whole book, and I've got paper clips over the whole thing too. So, I guess we just really need to do it, so. And I don't know if anybody's coming next month. So, even if we don't have an applicant, let's have a meeting and we'll discuss the zoning. No? Do you like those no meetings?
Baseball game that night or what?
Whatever. It's Monday after 4th of July, just so you know. July 6th.
Well,
Did
we could reschedule.
For a meeting then?
It doesn't matter to me. I'm gonna be in town, I'm not going out of town. Paul?
I don't have anything planned.
Dale? Christie?
Sorry, Becky, I don't. You're lying. Couldn't come up with something fast enough.
That'd be a good idea, because then we can cover the whole.
What I'll do when I have a few minutes, I will email you some of the things that I've found and where
Okay.
the things are different. And I find things because people come in and ask me questions. It's not that I can read this and remember it when I'm reading this chapter, but people ask me, and that's how I see things are different in there. So that's where a lot of what I have found has been. Or somebody asks me a question, and when I give them the answer by the zoning ordinance, they say, well, that's stupid. So things that maybe we can adjust, maybe we kind of tell you we can't, but some things we need to look at.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be good.
One of the things that we need to do, and it's tough. So you spend all the time rewriting the zoning ordinance, and you spend all the time approving the zoning ordinance. They're going to give us drafts. We have to be diligent reading those drafts and making sure the drafts are what we required, because so often those drafts, it's a draft, and they make mistakes too. So they forget to make entries, they make the wrong entry, and pretty much when you do a major project, there's just things like our sign ordinance, you know, which was only 17 pages or something like that. There was stuff that we were tired of it, and we didn't catch some basically typos.
You're talking about, when you keep saying they, you're talking about the planner?
The planner, correct,
Okay.
yeah. So when we're done with it, we're not really done with it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm getting at.
So, you know, as a group, we can go over it word by word, right?
Pretty much, but it's different because you have that mindset. I've done this, you know, and you just kind of, you have a tendency to gloss over it, but you can't.
Yeah.
So you really have to look at how the wording is and make sure, you know, instead of doing a speed read, you know.
Really, word by word.
Yeah, you got to word by word.
With your yellow pen in your hand.
Yeah. And we rely on Paul for.
Well, this is where Paul comes to the front,
Yeah,
right here.
yeah. Okay,
Right? That's it.
need a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I want to stay.
Okay.
Okay. So I made notes on